Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today this is an episode of Straight Edge Tiki. I am in the Bamboozle Bungalow with my friend Tom. Jeannie's upstairs, feeding the dogs or something like that so
I
they
think
don't
so.
bark. And today we're going to talk about Angostura Phosphate drinks.
Yes, one Angostura phosphate in particular. Um, it was from a 1908 edition of Angostura's, you know, drink or cocktail book,
Yeah,
where they're trying to move their product. At that time, of course, soda fountains shared floor space with pharmaceutical companies, and bitters were thought to be a pharmaceutical agent and were mostly moved into the premise they were good for you. And so the sales pitch, and I can quote here from Beach Bum Berry's book, is that let's say this drink taken before meals increases appetite, good digestion, rich blood, and healthy tissue. So they're still working the bitters and phosphate sodas, all good for you stuff. They're marketing wholesomeness.
is any of that true
If only it were.
with with bitters?
If
we're
only it were.
only talking usually like a couple drops too, right?
Yes, this uses a little more than a couple drops because it's the star ingredient,
Oh
but it's
my
still
god!
not more than a teaspoon.
Yeah. What was that? Then that was the idea. Like I remember, well, wow. I mean, even as a kid, going into like the '70s and the '80s,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you saw this too. Is like you would go, there would be drugstores
Mm-hmm.
that would have like kind of like a diner in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and serving like fountain drinks and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I always thought it was weird, even as a kid, like why is there like a diner in the drugstore?
Yeah.
And
I
that is
remember
and that
that
was the
too.
starts of it, right?
Uh-huh. Well, there's a big. This was like this model was turn of the century, like not 19th to 20th, not
Yeah,
20th to 21st, and so late 1800s, early 1900s when you saw kind of the burgeoning of soda fountains, and that continued well into the 50s when a lot of these drinks, the lactarts, the phosphates, what have you, kind of sunsetted, and it left us with milkshakes, which are also kind of in the same period, but a lot of them kind of sort of disappeared for the most part.
yeah. And when we're talking about these soda fountain places, well, these are geared towards children or everyone.
Everybody.
When Prohibition was on,
Yes.
did these soda fountains did it become popular, or did people
Um,
just drink
well,
underground?
there's mixed reviews on that. Soda fountains remained popular,
Yeah.
and a lot of the drinks. There's one cherry phosphate, and you think cherry the fruit. Well, they made it with cherry bark, which is
Oh,
anti-inflammatory. Again,
yeah.
again, kind of a healing idea. It's essentially a somewhat fruity but fairly barky,
Yeah.
spicy, herbal sort of flavor. In Prohibition, that was interesting because you had the people for the movement advertising the wonderfulness of the soda fountains. But before the Pure Food and Drug Act, and actually that's a little. This is actually before that.
Yeah.
All that, as I said, late 1800s to early
Yeah.
1900s. Absinthe got his own personal prohibition not long after, and then of course the other one started in 1918, 1919. But the soda fountains were another thing too, because
Yeah.
I don't know, lithium, cocaine, uh, all sorts of fun things in sodas. So
All right.
while they were touting the prohibitionists were touting the benefits of the soda fountain, a lot of the soda fountain patrons, the adults at least, are probably getting pretty stoned. Um, there old newspaper articles talking about businessmen, visiting the soda fountain, maybe early in the day or at lunch or something, and then hitting the bar or a speakeasy at night. So
Oh my God.
for a twofer, but
Just yeah.
so so it's a kind of
It promotes wellness.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, I feel so much more up when I now that I've.
Yeah, 7 Up. Yeah, you got.
Is that what they came up with? You're gonna make two drinks today, or
Well, we're making two versions of one
two
drink.
versions of one drink. And what drink is okay? What's the drink called?
Okay, well, we have the Angostura Phosphate.
And that's what it's
One,
called.
yeah, one version is
Okay.
from the Beach Bum Berry's Potions of the Caribbean book.
Okay.
Well healed, totally
Yeah.
reliable. The other is from a previous offender on our episodes,
Yeah.
Fix the
Fix the
Pumps,
pumps.
which deals with the late 19th, early 20th phosphate
Yeah.
sodas and other kinds of things. There's you know it's too technical and too busy to get into all of it now. We're just going to
Yeah.
do one drink. So, main difference between these two drinks is that the Potions of the Caribbean one uses fresh lemon juice and simple syrup to achieve your lemon syrup
Yeah.
in the drink. The old phosphate recipe does something a little different. They boil your fresh lemon juice, steep the zests or peels in that until
Yeah.
it cools down, and mix it up with a bit of sugar cold until
Yeah.
the sugar dissolves. And here's the tricky part. They call for like a qualia extract. Qualia is also known as soap bark or Panama bark. It
Yeah.
was used in place of raw egg white in flip type drinks to produce that nice foamy white nickel head
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even my go-to Tensing Momo did not have qualia bark, and no place online I found it either. So I cheated.
Okay.
We wanted the same mouthfeel and the kind of the foamy nickel head that is provided by that. And well, since Qualia was a shelf-stable pharmaceutical shop item to replace egg white,
Yeah.
I went back to the whole coconut snow notion of using powdered meringue
Yeah.
uh, as a shelf-stable ingredient, and then so we put the egg white back in instead of the qualia.
Yeah.
I think the results will be more or less the same, and you can see that it's got it gave it a more syrupy
Yes.
feel where it kind of sticks to the side of the pitcher
Oh yeah.
and has a definite nickel head on top, like I would expect from something made with egg white.
Yeah. And again, for the record, I mean, yeah, we're going to be using Angostura
Mm-hmm.
bitters, which is alcohol. It
Yeah.
does have alcohol. It's
Yes.
actually very high in alcohol, but we are literally just using
Yeah.
drops, so
Yeah.
it's negligible.
Yes.
And I'm curious. I tell you what, Tom, I'm always on the lookout for
Mm-hmm.
any kind of non-alcoholic alternatives
Mm-hmm.
that you can drink in a tiki bar. And there's a lot of tiki drinks I know that use Angostura bitters,
Yeah.
lemon juice, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to try these
And this
drinks.
is a rare phosphate. In fact, one of the only phosphates I've found that actually appears in a tea
Yeah.
drink book. This is from Fix the Pumps. So we go to our lemon syrup, which is on a recipe in a different section of the same book, and it is saying 1 ounce. Even though this is essentially a lemon infused simple syrup, it became way more syrupy after I added the meringue powder. So I totally see why they did things like the qualia and this. Just
Oh, it looks thick.
yeah, it thickened up noticeably when I did that. Okay, so 1 ounce of that. We need 2 of soda water, but we add that last. Instead, we'll cut to the Angostura part of this, which is a good way to get your color.
How many drips, or what are we talking?
Okay, a teaspoon.
Okay.
And so you get that. Remember, this is good for you.
Yeah.
Promotes healthy appetite. That part might actually be true.
Promotes wellness,
Yes, yeah,
whatever that means.
yes. That's a very general, easy term.
And that is the phosphate,
Yep,
right?
yeah. So this is the acid phosphate, which sounds a little more exciting than it actually is. Again, a shelf-stable pharmaceutical ingredient that has a sour flavor without adding something opinionated like lemon, lime, or orange, or what have you. And then just soda. Okay, might need a little more ice in these babies.
You listen to that foam up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I made this just a little bit ago, actually. There we go. Because adding ice was such a fun process there a moment ago.
Yeah.
The syrup, of course, is a greater specific gravity. It's going to tend to sink, so you want to actually stir it up pretty well.
Yeah. Now I notice you're not shaking these in a shaker. Could you do it either way, or?
You probably could do it that way too. I think they would have stirred them. You know, and you can't shake soda. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
you can. It's not a very good idea because your shaker might blow up in your face depending on how much pressure you generate. I've had it happen, and it isn't pretty.
I'll tell you what, I'm smelling the lemon.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the combination of Angostura and lemon. I don't think I've ever had this kind of a combination.
Okay, so there we are. Angostura Phosphate. Since this is a soda fountain drink, we'll go with the soda fountain straw.
Awesome.
And there we are.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Here, cheers. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. The interesting thing is that I thought the drink was going to be lemon
Yeah.
heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not.
No, not really. It's there, but it and the Angostura play nicely together.
God, they do. I mean, I'm tasting the Angostura more than well. What it's doing is the Angostura is taking out the line. The lemon is taking out the bitterness
Mm-hmm.
of the Angostura.
Uh-huh.
And what exactly does the phosphate do? Just kind of gives it
Yeah,
body, or
the phosphate adds more sour flavor
yeah,
without adding more lemon flavor. So at some point, whoever came up with it,
yeah,
that they wanted to be a little tartar, but didn't want the lemon to be more dominant,
yeah.
and so they pulled the lemon back and added something that added sour without flavor.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good.
Yeah,
This and again, say if I was here hanging out with you
yeah,
and Jeannie
uh huh,
and everyone else, and you're all drinking tiki cocktails,
yeah,
I would not feel left out drinking this.
yeah.
Not at all.
A very grown up soda.
It's surprisingly fresh
Mm-hmm.
and light.
No, it's great in the summertime.
Everything that I thought how this drink was gonna be
Mm-hmm.
is like the exact opposite.
Well, good. I'm glad to happily surprise you. And now we got those going. I'm going
Okay,
to make round two. Now for
a little
the
beach bum berry
the
action.
beach bumberry action. Yeah. So in his case, he let's see here. Yeah, okay, so 50-50. He goes with fresh lemon juice.
Just lemon juice.
Yeah, lemon juice, but and white simple syrup, and specifically white simple syrup, because they're trying to avoid any they want that pretty color it
Yeah,
makes. They don't want to muddy it up with I've tried this recipe with demerara rich simple syrup. You need to use less of that because it's sweeter,
yeah.
but it does improve the flavor a little bit. But of course, it's at the expense of the look. 'Cause, it makes it a little browner and more muddy because you're using.
I think that's all right though.
Yeah, yeah, it's viable. I mean, you can adjust your sweetener. So we do that.
So that is the lemon juice by itself, and then this is the simple syrup,
Yeah, so
the white
yeah,
simple syrup.
yeah. So in the other one, the yeah, the lemon syrup handles the whole thing,
Yeah,
and it's of course made of fresh lemons. The main interesting point will be how a lemon syrup made of fresh lemon and the lemon peel, if it has a
yeah.
more interesting or somehow different flavor than the one made with just lemon juice. But apart from that change, otherwise these are very similar. Again, we're to a half a teaspoon of acid phosphate. And a teaspoon of Angostura. So apart from the sweet, sour portion of this drink,
Yeah.
everything else, and it remains the same. The same amount of soda, same amount of Angostura, same amount of phosphate.
Interesting.
Okay. And a soda topper.
And this is your own club soda water
Oh
that you
yeah,
created.
the soda stream. Yeah, I did that earlier today to make sure I had lots of fizz.
But you could use like any club soda.
Oh yeah,
Could you use seltzer
absolutely.
water too, or doesn't matter?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Seltzer, club soda would probably be more like what they had in mind, but
Yeah.
seltzer water. Most people probably can't tell the difference.
I can. I can. Usually the club soda has more of a bite.
Yeah, it has there's usually some sodium content in
Yeah.
club soda.
It's a little, for lack of a better term, salty. Seltzer tends to be a little bit more cleaner.
Yeah.
The, not as harsh.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the color looks the same.
Yeah, it really does. It's also a little easier to mix, I think. There's the lemon the meringue infused lemon syrup
Yeah.
was actually a little thicker and took a little more emulsifying. This is a little simpler to blend up.
Yeah.
And both these works that I'm looking at, I respect greatly. So I'm curious if the outcome of all this is very much different at all. There we go.
All
And this
right.
is the Beach Bum Berry Angostura Phosphate.
Here's to the
Cheers.
bum.
Wow.
The other one's better, in my opinion.
They're really different. I didn't expect them to be this different.
Yeah, this one's tasting more like how I thought it was going to taste.
Oh,
This
okay.
this is definitely more bitter, a
Yeah.
little harsher.
Interesting. That is fascinating. The only real difference is, you know, fresh lemon and
This one's
similar.
incredible.
Yeah, and
I love this one. I'll drink it because you made it for me.
okay.
What do you think?
Um,
What's your opinion?
I've had this one more than the other one, honestly.
Yeah,
But so I like this one, and
yeah,
I've usually had it in hot weather. And in hot
yeah.
weather, I totally think that's good. The other one, the flavor is a little more. Flavor's a little more. There's a little more depth to it,
Yeah.
and that might be the lemon peels.
Okay.
I put my money on. I may put my money on lemon zest.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, like, this one definitely has more of like an alcoholic bite if you're looking for one.
Mhm.
Well, the other one is definitely more sweeter, but you
Yeah,
can't go wrong with either or though.
yeah. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more different
So
than I
you
expected.
like that one better?
I'm but the jury is still out here. I like the flavor of the one a little better. I actually like the tartness of this a
Yeah.
little better. I don't tend to be a big,
Yeah.
super sweet drink kind of person. So if they're less sweet, usually I like them more. But I can't argue with the more the deeper flavor of the phosphate recipe.
Yeah.
The soda fountain recipe. Let's
Yeah.
go say that.
But at the end of the day, both drinks, you're just dealing with a lemon syrup, so to
Yes.
speak.
Well,
However you're going to make
in
it.
one case, you're making it in two parts on the
Yeah.
spot. In the other, it's pre-produced because it takes a little while
Yeah.
to. And maybe that's it. Maybe boiling the lemon juice also takes some of the sour out of it.
Probably. Yeah.
And then you're adding more of the lemon flavor with the peel, which
Yeah.
which will actually add more lemon flavor than the
Yeah.
juice. And so if you're making cranberry sauce for the holidays, you get way more bang for your buck out of the orange zest
Yeah.
in your cranberry sauce than you do out of the juice.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same thing.
So it's all about what you're going to do for the lemon part of it.
Yeah,
The Angostura is the same,
yeah,
and the phosphate's the same, and obviously the soda, club
yeah.
soda,
And if you
is
actually
the same.
manage to find qualia bark, yeah, drop us a line, I guess.
Yeah. Well, drop Tom a line because
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be interested in getting some. You can reach out to me. I'm like, yeah, I got some of this bark, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool, good for you. But anyway, I mean, but either or, these are both two great drinks. And anyone out there, if you're interested in making this drink, make it. I'm curious to see what you think of it, one or the other, and put it in the comments below. Tom, thank you very much for making these,
You're welcome.
and I love it because it's like, again, non-alcoholic
Yeah.
yet tasty,
Uh-huh.
and I would say complex, but the tastes do work together
Yeah.
to make a balanced drink.
Yeah, I don't typically drink sodas. Like I say, I veer
Yeah.
away from sweet type things.
Yeah.
But I'd make an exception for this.
Yeah.
It's more grown up tasting. It's more complex.
Yeah.
It's not syrupy sweet.
Yeah.
I got an edge to it. It's good.
Angostura Phosphate. Check it out. Yeah, I like the first one way better.
Let me try that
Can
again.
can you pour a little bit of that in like a shot glass or
Okay.
something?
You realize, of course, it's going to be like drinking cough syrup, right?
Yeah, just a little. I just want to taste it by itself.
Okay. Say when.
When?
Okay.
Okay, can you do the same thing with the combination of those two?
Okay. Yeah, instant lemon infused simple syrup, essentially. And because it's Barry who's citing the 1908 thing, it could be that this is the original Angostura recipe as it appears in the book. He probably owns the damn thing. So it would be the soda fountain one that's probably a derivation of the the one you like less, and that they adapted it to a soda fountain context. So you get the shelf stable syrup with the shelf stable foaming agent,
Oh yeah,
and
the
yeah,
first one's. Well, I love the first one. Yeah, this is really really tart.
yeah,
It's
and
unbelievably
you
tart.
can and you can tell how
It
yeah
is definitely tart.
yeah, and in the drink it's really noticeable how much tartar it is. The other one is
Ugh, yeah.
yeah,
Now that's the one
I didn't
that's.
think you'd like that
Yeah,
one.
that's the one that's like coffee syrup. It always blows my mind, Tom. It's just that like simple, little simple
Yeah,
minor things.
yeah, this fell neatly in that category because it's a tiny difference, and the difference isn't in fact in the finished beverage is enormous.
It's crazy. Want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canapa did the design and they're screen printed in America.